In about 3 hours, we will watch history unfold here in Texas as the Senate impeachment trial of suspended Attorney General Ken Paxton begins, with our state senators turning into jurors.
Yeah, this is a very rare event here in the Lone Star State. Paxton accused of misusing the Attorney General's office to benefit Nate Paul, who's a real estate developer from Austin who donated to Paxton's campaign. Now, Paxton faces 20 articles of impeachment. He will be tried on 16 of them for now. A conviction on any of them would lead to Paxton's removal from office.
Now, we will have team coverage throughout the trial. Our Jason Wheeler will be in Austin from start to finish, bringing us coverage. And Chris Sadeghi joins us live now with more on what to expect today. Chris, the first day of a long process.
Yeah, Kara, and we still don't know exactly how this is going to play out because Texas has not hosted one of these impeachment trials for a statewide official in more than 100 years. Now, the rules have been laid out. They're much like a criminal court trial, although there are some key differences. First, let's get to what we expect to happen here today when this thing kicks off at 9 in the morning. First, the articles of impeachment will be read, and Paxton will enter a plea for each. Then we get to pretrial motions from the attorneys. As leader of the Senate, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is serving in the role of judge and can rule on the motions. But if Paxton's attorneys move to have any of the 20 articles of impeachment dismissed, that must be voted on by senators. Once the motions are heard, then we get to opening statements and ultimately testimony from witnesses. And with any votes that take place, including the final verdicts, it takes a 2/3 vote. So 21 of the 31 voting senators for either a motion or a conviction to pass. And since there are only 12 Democrats, that means 9 Republicans would have to vote with those Democrats to convict Paxton. Now, one senator who will not be voting is Paxton's wife, Angela. She is going to be allowed to stay in the Senate chamber. However, she is forbidden from taking part in any votes. Mark and Kara, back to you.
Well, Chris, we know that you went to school in Austin. You used to work in Austin. You've spent quite a bit of time covering the Capitol. What would you describe the atmosphere like already? How do you expect it to be today?
Yeah, really interested to see kind of what atmosphere plays out at the Capitol. I also covered the Travis County Courts building, and that's my intrigue. Will this look like a criminal trial, or will it look more like a legislative hearing like we're used to seeing at the Capitol? Remember, the senators will be serving as jurors. They're not used to doing that. Be interesting to see if they base their votes and their decisions on the testimony they hear or their politics. Mark and Kara.
A trial as big as Texas. Thank you this morning, Chris.
Well, Chris mentioned that Paxton's wife, Senator Angela Paxton, again, she will not vote, but she's one of many key people you'll see during the trial. Another is Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. He will serve as presiding officer in the trial, similar to a judge. And then there are the attorneys, some high-profile ones from the Houston area. Tony Busby will represent Paxton. He'll take on a couple of legal giants presenting the case against Paxton, Dick DeGuerin, and Rusty Hardin. Now, our team of experts will put every moment in perspective for you so you can better grasp what's happening and what's at stake. It is a lot to take in. You can watch gavel to gavel coverage on our streaming app at WFA+, or if you're on the go at WFA.com and our YouTube page.